how do you see AI changing the role of finance leaders or small business owners in the next sort of 12 to 24 months?
Yeah, Chris, it's a great question. I mean, what we're seeing is business owners that are using QuickBooks are starting to get incredible leverage because of AI. And if you think about it, it makes sense. If you're running a small business, you're wearing multiple hats. You're paying payroll every other Friday, you're paying bills, you're chasing invoices from your customers. These are all administrative things that take a lot of time away from actually growing your business. And so, what we're seeing AI do is literally automate all that away, and we're seeing that happen on QuickBooks with Intuit Intelligence. And the result is really these business owners get back to doing what they got into business to do, which is to really practice their craft and to grow their business. And so we're just seeing this as a moment of tremendous leverage for small business owners, specifically. I think the story you asked about finance directors is similar for finance directors too. It really is, once again, all these administrative tasks, things like making sure people are filing their expenses, or sort of basic forms of kind of financial planning. As AI is able to do a lot of that for them, they're able to focus on many more sort of high order tasks, things that are strategic in nature. And again, we just see a lot of those folks, simply just being, both more productive, but also more fulfilled in their job because of it.
And how do you think about AI hallucinating, or can you really trust what the AI is recommending or urging the user to do or to approve? How do you help navigate that
I
side?
think this is one of the key unique pieces of the Intuit platform, actually, which is, we believe, very strongly in still having the human in the loop, especially for these sort of very high trust, potentially high risk, people are thinking about things that are related to compliance, for instance. And, our customers, I had a conversation with a customer last week where they said it best. They're comfortable with AI doing, 95% of their books. But at the very end, as they're doing the last pieces of their tax planning, they really do value the human expert. And on with Intuit and with QuickBooks, you actually have access to 13,000 human experts on our platform. And so I think the key answer there is really to marry AI with human intelligence, and we do that very, very effectively on our platform.
So if the users are saving all this time, then I guess if they're freeing the system can do 95%, does that mean as a customer or maybe using or interacting with that business, do you think the prices will come down because they have to spend less time managing me or helping me file my taxes, or are they going to do something else instead?
Well, thinking about the Intuit platform specifically and QuickBooks, keep in mind, there's been a significant evolution of our platform over the last, 5 years or so. We used to be thought of, primarily as accounting, but now we really are doing things end to end to help folks run their business. Everything from getting customers, again, to paying payroll, et cetera. And so what we're seeing a lot of our small businesses doing is, yes, they may be spending less time on the accounting, but that just means they're in another part of our overall platform, our all-in-one platform, doing something like getting customers with MailChimp or getting paid with our payments products. And so I think it's really sort of a time shift, but because we're an all-in-one platform, all that activity is still happening on our platform.
hmm what's a good, like, concrete example of how you've embedded AI or automation to simplify things for your users? You mentioned the intelligent engine.
Intuit Intelligence, yeah. So we have Intuit Intelligence really there to help our customers with a tasks across the platform. All the key applications, everything from getting customers to getting paid to paying bills. But maybe to give you a very specific example that a customer was telling me about last week, it was a general contractor, and this is a general contractor that's doing really well. They've got dozens of projects, and so it's really valuable to understand which of the projects are actually profitable. Now, that may sound easy, but it's actually hard to do because project profitability is really a function of all the bills you're getting from subcontractors. And that often will take a business like the customer I was talking to several weeks for the team to really input all those bills, tag them to specific projects, really do sort of all the categorization. And so the owner, in this case, that's running a big, sort of construction firm, they can't really tell in real time which of their projects are profitable. Well, now with AI, all the administrative work that happened before, not only does that get pulled off the plates of the team members so they can focus on high order tasks, but it can happen much faster. And so it means that that intelligence, what are the costs on a given project now in real time so that the owner can make decisions based on it. That's all happening just much, much faster. And so it really is a two-pronged benefit. It is both a lot of less administrative time for the team, but it's also unlocking this insight that's just happening in real time versus something that's really lagging and therefore not as helpful if I'm a business decision maker.
So you kind of touched on this already, but what would you say, like based on all the conversations you're having and what you're hearing from the market, what are the biggest pain points that your users are the most frustrated about today, and how are you tackling it? Like, are there more examples than the ones you mentioned so far? And how are you
Yeah,
doing it different also than your competitors, I guess?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think, maybe zooming out a little bit, there's a lot of specific things that AI is helping people with within our ecosystem. But if I zoom out, one of the macro pain points that I'm hearing quite a bit is really just the proliferation of different apps in a particular business. You've got folks doing accounting in one app and paying bills in another, doing payroll in yet another. Their customer data is living in yet another sort of data set. And what that means is data turns out to be out of sync, data can be out of date, and it really becomes siloed. And so, siloed data makes insights very difficult, but it also makes it really difficult to apply AI to this data, AI to this data to actually do tasks on behalf of users. And so, one of the things that we've done uniquely is we have natively built all these key jobs on our platform. So, as I mentioned before, our customers can do everything from getting customers at the beginning of the journey all the way to getting paid, to paying their employees, to paying bills, and then of course, to reconciling, their books. And so I think the thing that's really interesting about the way that we've approached things is we're doing it natively so that rather than silo data, the data is all in one place, unlocking a different set of insights, but also really unleashing AI so it can automate these tasks across the stack.
And kind of building on that, I guess, then, and kind of from your firsthand experience, what do you think are some of the most common misunderstandings about how AI will impact accounting or the life for a financial professional using your platform?
Yeah, I think the big one is that people underestimate the value of still having the human in the loop. And as I mentioned before, we are still hearing from our customers that they really value the automation. They do value the fact that, for example, these kind of low value tasks like reconciling expenses, categorizing them, or following up with employees on how many hours did they work in a given week. That's not what our customers want to spend time doing, and they're happy to hand that off to the AI. But when it comes to, again, these high trust, high judgment, perhaps one way door decisions, they really do value the human expertise, somebody that has the experience. And really that person is also leveraging, AI, of course, with insights and everything else. But it's that judgment, that trust that we're really still hearing from our customers as quite valuable.
David, great insight. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate that.
Awesome. Well, great to see you today.